Welcome to the Babble Mouth podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Babble Mouth podcast, episode 9. I appreciate everyone for joining me on this beautiful evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it may be for you. Hopefully, you're having a good day, good evening. Like I just said, I love repeating myself as it be. But on today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Kumi's episode. I promised him that I would give him an in-depth review on his episode. And we're also going to be talking about, finally, The Walking Dead. If you didn't know, The Walking Dead is actually my favorite TV show. So, we're finally going to be talking about the finale that happened recently. And then more about The Walking Dead as we go on as well. And then we're also going to be, I got a few more things I want to rant about my work about. We're going to be talking about me switching to Mint Mobile. And we're going to be ranting about adulting. And we'll get more into that towards the end of the podcast. But to start off this beautiful, beautiful podcast, we are going to be talking about Kumi's episode. So, I ended up just titling it a Kumi's episode, just because I didn't really know what else to title it. It may or may not get changed, but I kind of like it being called Kumi's episode, because one of the things that I want to try to do, which I probably I'm still probably gonna do it, but I want to wait until I get the right picture. But I'm gonna switch the podcast artwork for that episode to be a picture of him with the Babble Mouth text on it. But I'm also probably going to be reworking the artwork again, just because I wanted to say, because most podcasts will have the title of the podcast, and then it'll say, like Chris D'Elia's. If you don't know who Chris D'Elia is, he's a comedian who has a podcast called Congratulations, and his podcast artwork is called, it says Congratulations, some artwork of him, and then it says with Chris D'Elia. And I kind of wanted to do that where it says with ImNexusss, or it can be my real name. Doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, that's something that's gonna happen with that podcast that I want to do, is make it so that when it's his episodes, it'll be a different artwork, basically. So yeah, that is going to happen eventually. But let's get into the episode. So basically, if you haven't listened to episode 8, please go listen to it before you listen to this portion of this podcast, or you will not understand anything I'm about to say. So let's just we'll go over all of his points, and we'll just go point to point, everything that he talked about, and then I'll give him a few critiques, because there's a few things that kind of not really bugged me, but we'll get into it. Overall, it was a very good episode. I'll say that now. So let's go over all the things he talked about. So he did talk about his depression, which I'm not gonna say anything more or anything less about it. It's not my business to talk about it. But I will say this, because I feel like it's fine to say this. I am one of the few that knew about it to the point where he is talking about. I knew how bad it was. And I just want to say this to anyone who does listen to this podcast, and because I just want to put out on the record that I am probably one of the only people, other than maybe like 2 others, that are asking for Kumi to come stream again. I just want to put that out there, that I am one of the many few that are actually asking and staying up to date with him. Just want to put that out there. But yeah, and in terms of him losing followers, I wouldn't have anything. I have nothing. I haven't actually checked. I don't really keep up to date with his follower count, so I'm not sure about that. But I wouldn't doubt that it did drop, and it probably did. But fuck those guys, because they aren't true followers. They aren't true supporters. They're just fucking scummy cunts, I guess you could say. But But yeah, the depression part of the podcast, a lot of these points are going to be mainly directed towards him, so I guess you guys can really just hear the review. But I just feel like next time, if you do want to talk about the depression again, feel free to go as far as you want. Like, the episode is yours. Like, if you want to make it depressing, then make it depressing. Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, because I knew during the episode he was talking about he didn't want to make it depressing, and I understand that a lot of people might get turned off by that, but there's a lot of people out there who probably would love to hear your story, me being one of them. And I think it'd be interesting to hear it in detail, but obviously that's up to you at the end of the day. But yeah, I just feel like if you want to make it more depressing, make it more depressing. Like, if I can make the comedic episodes, and then if you can always add comedy to your episodes as well. Like, don't feel like you have to make it funny. It doesn't need to be necessarily funny. Like you were saying, just babble. That's all you need to do. But yeah, overall, it was a good episode. One of the other points, he did talk about movies, and I'm surprised that I haven't done this, because it's one of the many things that I haven't done. And we're not going to talk about that many movies, because I don't want to go over points that he already did. And I think maybe episode 11, we'll talk about my favorite movie. And maybe we'll talk about my favorite movie, my favorite video game in episode 11. I think we could do that. And Kumi did talk about this in his episode. He was talking about me and him doing a episode together down the line. And yes, that is going to happen eventually. When it happens, I cannot tell you. There's no date on when that is going to happen. All I can say is that eventually it will happen. I don't know when, but it will. And but yeah, he talked about movies like Jurassic World Dominion got delayed to 2022. I think the new John Wick is being released in 2022 as now as well. Spiral is 2021, I believe. And Quiet Place actually had a release date for September, and that didn't work out. So that is probably not going to happen until March. Probably won't happen until, well, the movie theaters would have to reopen again, I'd assume. I'm assuming that'll probably come out in March or April, around the time the vaccine is planned, I believe. Because I'm pretty sure that's when it's supposed to be released, is in like March or April or May or something. I don't know these things for 100%. I don't really keep up to date with politics and stuff like that, so I'm not 100% on that kind of thing. But last I heard, it was like March, April of 2021 was when it was supposed to be out. But I could be wrong. But yeah. Talked about movies. He talked about the depression. He talked about me a little bit and the podcast, which I do appreciate that you like the podcast. Hopefully everyone enjoys the podcast. That is the plan at the end of the day. But just to give you pretty much, I mean, that's about as in-depth as I really can get without, I don't really know what else. But I guess really the only critique would be just do whatever you want with your episode. If you want to get depressed, if you want it to be sad in the episode, then let it be. If you want it to be funny, let it be funny. If you want it to be both, let it be both. Just do whatever you want in your episode. And because at the end of the day, it's your episode, so do whatever you want. And your episode this time was very good. I'd give it a solid. We're gonna do. Oh shit! I just dropped my phone. If we're gonna do like a out of 10 situation, I'd probably I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. The quality of the mic was actually really good, and once I removed the background audio, the audio was actually really crispy. It was really well done. Well done. I believe it is on the same mic I did episode 7 on. It should have been a Blue Yeti if I'm not wrong. But yeah, very good. 8.5 out of 10. And there's only going up from there. You can't do any worse than that. So yes, and also I don't know when he's gonna do another one. Probably around the 14, 15 episode range, somewhere in there. But I do actually, these weren't one of the points, but the live episode is going to be, let me see, let me look at the calendar. Next Monday, so I get paid on the 22nd, so it'd be the 26th. Is it the 26th? Is it the 26th? Fuck. I guess it would be. That's crazy, because I get paid the 29th. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, I guess the 26th is what it would be. That doesn't make sense, but no, it can't be. No, because I get paid right there. Okay. Yeah, so it's the 19th. October 19th, which is a Monday, is going to be the live episode. Episode 10 of the Babblemouth podcast will be live on October 19th. And that is 2020. If you're watching this episode or listening to this episode in the way future, that's October 19th of 2020. So yeah. So what I'm thinking we're going to be doing with that is, I think I've said this before already, but every 10th episode is going to be live, at least. Maybe we'll do a few more here and there, but as of right now, every 10th episode is going to be live. So that should be pretty fun. But yeah, let's move on to the next topic about the Walking Dead. So if you guys didn't know, The Walking Dead, or The Walking Dead, whatever you want to call it, it is my favorite TV show. It's my favorite TV show so much that it is, in my mind, mentally, it has been locked at number one, and it can never be not number one. I've done that with a lot of things, like my favorite video game will always be my favorite video game, even if I played a game that's better than it, and it's clearly I enjoy it more. The Walking Dead is my favorite TV show, and will always be my favorite TV show. It is mentally locked in my brain to be number one, and it's just going to be that way forever. And yeah, so the first time I saw the show was actually when it first released. The first episode that came out on Halloween of 2010, and I actually watched the first season of the show when I was really young. I would have been 11 years old, and I watched the entire first season every week with my dad, and because my father's actually the one who showed me the show on Halloween, and it was actually crazy. But yeah, I watched it when it first came out. It was awesome. I watched the first season, and then the second season I watched the first 2 episodes of second season, but then I didn't watch it for the entire rest of the season. But then I watched season 2 on Netflix. And then when season 3 came out, I did watch season 3. And I've been watching this show every season, every episode came out, ever since season 3, episode 1. And season 3, episode 1 is actually one of my personal favorite episodes. I think it's a lot of people's favorites just because it is a badass episode. It's a really good episode. Season 3, episode 1 is, I believe it's titled Seed, but it's the very first episode where they're in the prison, and they're in the prison for a season and a half, and then they get obviously kicked to the road, and then because the governor attacks in episode 8 of season 4 called Too Far Gone. That is another very good episode. I don't know if it's one of my personal favorites, but it is a really good episode regardless of anything. These are just my opinions, but it is a good episode. It's definitely it's in my top 10 for sure, but not the top 3. Spoiler alert, by the way. I know it's a little late, but come on, these episodes came out years and years ago. The ones that I'm talking about, they're so long ago that if you haven't watched it, then it's kind of just your fault at this point, or if you've read the comic book, and we'll get into that as well. But Seed is one of my favorite. My favorite episode is season 5, episode 1, Sanctuary. That is one of the baddest ass episodes of the entire show. It probably is the best episode. I'm pretty sure it is actually the highest ranked. I think it's actually the second highest ranked, because I think season 6, episode 9 is actually the highest ranked episode, if I'm not wrong. I believe that is true. I think, at least on IMDb. So I think that episode, I think season 6, episode 9 is ranked to like 9.6 or 9.5 on IMDb, and then No Sanctuary is like a 9.4, 9.3, I believe. I don't even know what's under that, so. But yeah, so we got No Sanctuary, my favorite episode. And then my second favorite is honestly probably Seed. And then I'd put... Damn, it's actually tough. There's a lot of good episodes. Rick's last episode of the TV show, which... a little debatable if it's actually his last or not, because he could always come back for the final season. And we'll get into that as well, don't you worry. We will get into that. But, his episode was good. It's hard to say. I wasn't really prepared to answer this question. I'm kind of just babbling on, which is, I guess, the point of this podcast, but I wasn't ready for this. But episode 1, No Sanctuary, is definitely my favorite. That is definitely the number 1 episode. Anyway, I guess let's just talk about the finale that happened recently. So, I didn't watch it on a day of release. I actually watched it the next day. And I watch all the episodes with my mother now. I've been watching this show with her, I think, since season 4, season 5. I think it was season 5 is the first season where she started watching it, I believe. I don't even know. It's like season 4, season 5 is when she started watching it, and then I've been watching every episode with her because like you guys know, I do live alone, so I've been going over to my parents' place, and then I have AMC Plus, which lets you watch the episodes 2 days early, so you can watch it on Friday instead of Sunday. So I've been watching episodes with her on Fridays for the last year. Well, I guess really ever since she's been watching it. But for the last year, I've been going over to their place because I don't live there anymore, so that's always fun. But the finale. So the finale was called A Certain Doom. It was the big final battle between the Whisperers and the Survivors. And when they say final battle, don't really think of it as a battle, because it really wasn't. It really wasn't that much of a fight. There was like 3 or 4 fights in the show. In the episode. And the Whisperers pretty much lost every single one. I think one survivor died, and it was some random, like, Beatrice, I think is what her name was. Some random ass chick. I knew she was from Oceanside, but it's like, you're so fucking irrelevant to me that it literally doesn't matter. And yeah, but it was a good episode overall for what it was. There's this YouTuber called Make a Path Presents. I think Make a Path Presents. He critiqued the episode really hard, and I agree with a lot of things he said. If you guys want to watch his video, go to his channel, Make a Path Presents on YouTube, to watch his review of it. If you want, like, he's someone who reviews every single episode and reviews the comic and all that shit. So if you want really in-depth reviews, go watch him. I'm more of a whatever review. Nothing too crazy over here. But yeah, the episode, I'd say overall, I would probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. The way Beta died was a little underwhelming, just because it was like, in the comic book, he gets to fight Negan, and he didn't really fight Negan. All that happened was Negan called Beta like a shithead or something, and then Beta charged at him, threw a walker at Negan. Beta pinned Negan down, went to stab him, and then Daryl came and slashed his side and stabbed him in the eyes. Don't get me wrong, Daryl stabbing him in the fucking eyes with his knives is badass. Like, he literally took both of his knives and just shoved him straight into his fucking eye sockets. It was badass. And then he just rips them out of his eye sockets, and then Beta gets eaten by the zombies, or the walkers, sorry. But there was one thing I didn't like. One big thing that I can critique, and that would be, the episode was meant to come out in, I think, April. I think is when it was supposed to come out. It's either end of March or beginning of April. And because during the episode, Beta or I guess it really is when he died, when Beta got stabbed in the eyes. He had this like flashback sequence of Alpha and their fucking little whisperer chant, whatever, like, we are the end of the world or something, whatever the fuck they said. And it's like, it was so long ago that this flashback, it literally just seems irrelevant now. It seems, because literally this episode came out 6 months later, I think, is when it was. It's been a long time, but I feel like the flashback just doesn't hit the same as it would have. I mean, that flashback would have been really good if it would have went, back to back with all the other episodes, but it was so long ago that I just feel like the flashback just didn't need to be there. But I guess if you watch it on Netflix or whatever, it'll hit different if you watch the episodes back to back. But if you watch episode 15 and then 6 months later watch episode 16, it's just not gonna hit. I don't know why, but I cannot fucking breathe when I'm sitting on this fucking, like, I don't know why. I just feel like I can't breathe. That's why it sounds like I'm like running out of breath. It's because I am. I'm sitting here and I don't know why. Like, I'm sitting up straight, my lungs are ready to go, my stomach is fine. I don't feel any. I just feel like I can't fucking breathe, and this happens every single episode. But if I stood up, it'd be fine. But I don't know. We don't want to ramble about that. But yeah, the episode was cool. Maggie came back finally. She was gone for a long time. Apparently, she is at the Commonwealth, which I don't know. I was watching a video about the masked guy that's in the episode. And apparently she's at the Commonwealth. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how it could be true, but I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea. But yeah. I mean, if she is at the Commonwealth, then cool, but I don't think she is, because it wouldn't really make sense. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. But I guess it could also make sense just because of the setup that the characters that Maggie is with. The setup that they gave kind of makes sense, but I don't know, because it didn't happen in the comic book, so she literally could be fucking anywhere. She could be in Mexico for whatever reason. I don't know. She's not in Mexico, by the way, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but she's back, and apparently it went, and also everything I say is not fact. It's just things that I've heard, and I'm just gonna relay it back to you. So I did hear that because they're adding 6 more episodes to season 10, and apparently, allegedly, the 6 episodes are going to be about Maggie. So hey, I guess we'll see where she is. And if she's at the Commonwealth, then she's at the Commonwealth. If she's not at the Commonwealth, then she's not at the Commonwealth. Also, if you don't know what the Commonwealth is, it is this large town in the. It's pretty much the last bit of I guess government control in the apocalypse. It's this massive town in the comic book, which is now being relayed back into the show. And I guess if you've been watching The Walking Dead World Beyond, it'd be similar to that. But I haven't watched The Walking Dead World Beyond. All I do know is they're not at the Commonwealth. They're at somewhere else. They're somewhere else, but it would be similar to that. The Commonwealth would be like that. And I'm pretty sure the Commonwealth is part of their little fucking trifecta, so. But also, I don't know. I do know that Rick is part of that trifecta. He's at one of those facilities. And if you don't know what I mean by trifecta, basically there's this group of people that wear this logo that's 3 circles, interconnected circles, and every circle represents a different, I guess, town of their community. So there's this town, this town, this town, and Rick is at one of them. I don't remember which one people confirmed that he was at, but he's at the bad one. He's at the one where the people are assholes. That's the one he got taken to. Apparently, like I said, all this stuff could be wrong. It can be false. I mean, only thing that's not false is that he is at this trifecta town. He's at one of them. That's the only thing that I can guarantee is a fact. Only because the helicopter that picked him up had the same logo on it. The logo on the shirts of the people in the World Beyond are wearing that logo. I don't think Rick is going to be in World Beyond. If he is in World Beyond, it probably won't be until the second season, which is because the World Beyond is a limited 2 seasons, because obviously after that they're going to be making the movies for Rick. I mean, I would assume at least that's what they're doing. I don't know why they had to make it 2 seasons, but I feel like you could have just made it 1 long season and got it over with, because the Rick movies were supposed to come out in 2021, at least the first one, because apparently there's supposed to be 3. So I don't know when. I think 2022 is now, because I'm pretty sure they just recently started actually filming, or at least they started production of it in some way, like recently, because apparently Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick, was in Los Angeles, like I think this was like 2 months ago, but they were like just starting production, or like getting ready to start at least, and that's pretty exciting because I would really love to see those movies. But yeah, enough about The Walking Dead, because I'm fucking about to pass out. I can't fucking breathe. But let's do a quick. I'll do a quick little rant about the next 2 topics, and then we'll go into the adulting part of the podcast. But just a quick little rant about my work. Basically, I think I might have talked about this in the ranting about my work episode, which I think was episode 6. I think I might have talked about this, but I basically, on a week ago now, I went into work with a little bit of a sore throat, and one of the health and this, because COVID is one of the symptoms for COVID is a sore throat. So I went in, I told them I had a sore throat. At the end of the day, I got sent home. I got sent home when I went in there. Well, not sent home. I chose to go home because they asked if I wanted to. But basically, what they didn't tell me is that I still needed to call out. So I went home, but I didn't actually call out in the system. So the system didn't know I was not going to be there. But, like, managers themselves knew I wasn't going to be there. Which, bro, I'm having a hard time. I can't fucking breathe. I can't fucking talk. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me right now, but I can't talk. I just run out of breath. So fucking, oh my god, I'm getting fucking pissed, dude. I just literally punched myself in the leg. I'm getting fucking pissed at myself right now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think it's bullshit that I got, because if you don't call out in the system, you lose 3 points, and I'm pretty sure I did say that in that video, in that podcast. I mean, I did talk about that, but yeah, I lost 3 points for something that they knew I was doing. So it's not like I didn't. Since I didn't call out in the system, I lost 3 points. But there was literally 4 people that knew I was leaving. One of them being a manager. So I'll take 1 point, because that's what I was supposed to lose. I was supposed to lose 1 point for calling out that day, not fucking 3, which I feel like should easily be taken away. But I talked to my manager. I talked to the manager that knew I was going to be out. I talked to this other manager. I've talked to 3 managers, and they've all told me something else. The first manager I told said it could be removed 100%. Then I asked the manager that knew I was going to be gone. She said she has to do something, and then it might get removed. But she said I don't see why it wouldn't get removed. And then I asked my personal manager that runs my team. I asked him, and he said I don't think that can even be removed. Which, like, they've all told me something different. It's really fucking unfortunate. But tomorrow when I go into work, I'm going to be talking to our human, I don't know what it's not HR, but I guess it's kind of like that in a way. But I'm going to be talking to her, and I think she can actually give me a actual fucking answer, because I would love these 2 points to get removed, because it's bullshit that I have them anyway. I shouldn't have them. It's not fair. It's literally not fair. I mean, me not calling out was an accident, especially when, first of all, they didn't tell me that I still needed to call out. They never said anything. And I was supposed to assume, like, oh yeah, I still need to call out. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna randomly assume that. But yeah, I'm gonna talk to her tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe she can just remove it and then call it a day. Because if I have to talk to my manager again, my actual manager, then I don't feel like... It's been a couple days and they've not done anything. I feel like I tell them these things, they say they'll do something, but then they don't. Like, they just won't actually do anything. Because I feel like I'll ask them again about it, and they say, yeah, we tried, and nothing happened. I'll be like, yeah, you're fucking lying. Because here's the thing, is I could easily just take the 2 points, take it as an L in the forehead, call it a day. Because in 6 months, I'll get all my points back. Then we'll just be fresh on 0 again. But I'd rather not, you know? I'd like to have these 2 points back, so I can at least, have some safety points. Because right now, I literally cannot do anything. Because if I leave early, I can be fired if I leave early. Because it's, to be fair, it does say you have to exceed 5 points to get fired. It literally says that you have to exceed. So, but apparently, if you get 5 points, you can be fired. Even if you don't exceed, if you hit 5, you can be fired, which is fucking dumb, by the way, because I'm not exceeding it. I'm not breaking any rules. You guys gave me 5 points, but I can't actually use the full 5 points. Like, what the fuck? What's the point? You might as well say you get 5 points, but you can only use 4.5 of them. Like, it's dumb. It's stupid. We're not going to talk about this anymore because it's retarded. Actually fucking retarded. And, there's really not much to talk about Mint Mobile, but one of the things I like about Mint Mobile is that they have an unlimited data plan now, and it's $30 a month, and you can pay. The only thing I don't like is the way Mint Mobile works is you have to pay in. You can either do a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan, or an entire year. And you have to pay all of that money up front. It's not like you do month to month. They don't do month to month. They do 3, 6, or 12. So, I mean, if you have $360 to drop right there, you can do a whole year of a phone plan. Which is, yeah, it's crazy, but who has $360 to just fucking throw into the Mint Mobile's face? So I'm probably going to be doing the 8 gig plan, because it's only $20 a month. And I'm going to do every 3 months. So it's going to be $60 up front every 3 months. So, yeah. That's what I'm going to be doing. This is little random things that I thought I'd let you guys know. But, let's talk about adulting. If you don't know what adulting is, it's just being an adult, I guess. It's just being an adult. It's hard. If you are a young boy or a young lady who, is not an adult yet, and you aren't living on your own, cherish those moments, because once you do have to live on your own, you'll start to realize how difficult it really can be. I've unfortunately made it more difficult for myself than it needed to be, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Basically, the reason I want to talk about this is mainly because of owning a vehicle. Owning a vehicle is one of the most stressful fucking things, because this vehicle can do anything, can break at any moment. Like, on my car, the one thing I know I need to do is an oil change. That is the one thing, and you have to do that every couple of months. You have to get an oil change. On my car, it's every 5,000 miles you have to get an oil change, which that would probably be like 2.5 to 3 months for me. So every 3 months I have to get an oil change or so. I have never gotten one, and I finally am to the point where I need to get one, but my brakes squeak. So if you don't know what squeaky brakes means, it means you need new brake pads. So that's cool. I also need to get snow changed because Oregon snows a lot, and it will get really slippy, and it is very, very scary. It is one of the probably 2 things in this world that I am actually scared of. It's probably one of the only things that I'm truly, truly afraid to do is driving on the snow. If you've never drove in the snow, it's not fun. It is actually fucking terrifying. It's just fucked. It's not even really driving on the snow. It's the driving on the fucking ice. It's the ice that's slippy, and the snow really, but it's when you're driving in slippy ass snow while it's snowing at night. I've done that like once, and it is one of the scariest experiences of my entire life. You will literally shit bricks. It is not fun at all. So yeah, I need to get an oil change. I need to get antifreeze new. That's happening here soon as well. The oil change is happening soon as well. The brakes kind of are iffy because sometimes this week, and I feel like they go for a couple of days without doing it, so I'm not really sure what the fuck they're doing. But that needs to happen. Recently, I also had a tire pressure symbol up, which, if you didn't know, the tire pressure symbol can actually appear on your vehicle when it's really cold outside. And it's been cold in Oregon recently, so I had the tire pressure symbol, but I kind of assumed that it had to do with the cold, just because when it gets really cold, the tire pressure symbol pops up, just because if I don't know, something in the car thinks the tire pressure is low. But if it's really, really cold outside, just know that it's probably not. But if you want to double check it, just go to a Les Schwab or wherever you can get tire pressure checked, and it's free. At least it's free at Les Schwab. So, but yeah, but I want to get my oil changed. I'm taking it to this place called Express Lube, and they're going to change the oil. But not only that, they're gonna check like fucking 7 or 8 other things for free, and they're just gonna check it for me, make sure it's all good to go. And that's badass. So yeah, that's happening soon. But yeah, adulting's hard. A lot of money you'll start to learn that when you get paid by a paycheck, that it's not actually your money. It's always somebody else's. You worked for pretty much to give your money to someone else, which is just life at this point. But yeah, it's stressful. It can be stressful. And we've talked about this many times. I'm slowly I've dug myself out of a hole to get out of debt. We're not even close to being out of it, but we're about to be done with the debt collector, which I'm very happy about. They're the one thing in my life that is actually royally fucking me right now. And but yeah, once they're gone, then we're GG's. Then we just gotta work on the credit card, getting that paid off. I need to pay off a firm. I do need to do that. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys got something out of this podcast. I know that I was fucking breathing kind of heavy throughout this podcast. I'll figure something out, because I think I need to sit in a different chair, or on a chair to begin with, because I'm not actually sitting on a chair. I'm sitting on the ground on like a pillow and shit, so it's probably not great. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Go show Comey some love. Like I said, I don't know when he'll do his next episode. It'll be soon, probably within the next 4 or 5 episodes. He'll have another one, I'm sure. But other than that, guys, also, hope you enjoyed the intro music. I forgot. The intro music is actually on this podcast now, so hope you guys enjoy it. Give me your feedback. I think it's interesting. It's not great. It's something. It's better than nothing, I suppose. I'll probably end up changing it, because it kind of sounds weird, because it's jazz music with this voice, with this text-to-voice that I got off this website. I don't even know what website it was called, but I just googled voice to text. Then I typed "Welcome to the Babblemouth Podcast," and then just got the best voice that I could get, that sounded the best, that said it the best, and I just used it. So what the one you're hearing is the best one that I could get. So hope you guys like it. I'll probably change the music. We'll mess with it. It'll get tweaked here and there throughout the episodes, but hope you guys enjoy it anyway. But thank you guys for listening to this episode. If you guys did enjoy this episode of the Babblemouth Podcast, feel free to use my Anchor support link down below in the description for 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99 $9.99. You can support the podcast if you'd like. I would appreciate it if you did. If you don't, then I still love you regardless. But like I said, hope you guys have a good day.